people in any industry, in any sport, in any endeavor have set goals to be there. The bottom 90%, 99% of people don't set goals, or they have like these wishy-washy kind of goals, like daydreams, which they've never wrote down, they've never calculated, they don't obsess over. If you ask them what their goal is, they'll just say some like vague shit of like, oh well, I hope to get a job next year, or I hope to like, you know, get a promotion soon, or you know, we'll probably buy a house soon. You know, they'll say these things which they do have a desire for, but they've never really sat down and committed themselves to the goal process. So what you're going to learn in this lesson is my exact process for setting long-term and even short-term goals, and this will give you the sense of direction that you've really needed. So we're going to set long-term goals, which are about 6 to 12 months, and then short-term monthly milestones. And as a disclaimer, I think long-term goals are more like 5, 10, 20 years, but for most people starting off, even 6 to 12 months seems like very far in the distance. So those are going to be our long-term big focus goals, and then we're going to have like monthly milestones that will get us to hit those goals. So let's start with the big goal, the long-term 1 year goal from now. So when you look at the date, just clarify to yourself what year and month it will be exactly 12 months from now. So at the time of recording, it's August 2022. So 1 year from now, it'll be August 2023. Just say that date into your mind. Maybe it's August 2023. Maybe you've got this course very early, or maybe it's like September 20, who knows? But just clarify it to your mind. Okay, that's the month next year that we're aiming for. And then ask yourself this very important question. What is a reasonably unreasonable achievement that you could get by then? Reasonably unreasonable is a certain phrase that I've used, which has really been helpful. If you set a very easily achievable goal, of course you should hit it. It's actually interesting when you set those like lower level goals, you know, the goals that have like less of a reward, but it's, you know, that mindset that it's like easy to achieve. You end up just sacrificing the goal because it wasn't really worth it. What I learned from the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, right at the end, Tim Ferriss starts talking about the process of goal setting, and he recommends a different book called The Magic of Thinking Big. And these two books really pushed into me this idea that you should always set goals bigger than what you're comfortable with. You can certainly go too far. I meet a lot of young people who quite frankly maybe have some potential but not that much, and they tell me their goal is to make like 5 million next year, and they just sound like idiots. Don't be an idiot. My goal isn't to make 5 million next year. Perhaps £1 million for me next year over the entire year. Perhaps that's reasonably unreasonable. But I see some guys who have no businesses, no skills, no nothing, and they're like, oh yeah, well I'll be like a centimillionaire by age 30. It's like, at least have some respect for the process. It's reasonably unreasonable. If right now you show that you have no potential at all in terms of an income for your business, or you know, for the business that you're doing with your entrepreneurship journey, I would recommend something like $5,000 this month and next year. So for me, it's August 2022 right now. For August 2023, if I was a completely brand new entrepreneur watching this, I would say, okay, I will make $5,000 over the month of August 2023. If I'm on zero right now, like I'm literally just struggling, you know, I've tried some like businesses, not really done anything. That gives me 12 months to get to the month where over the month I make $5,000. That's reasonably unreasonable. $5,000 is quite a high wage, especially for young people, for the month. But if you dedicated yourself to this, if you obsessed over this, okay, make $5,000 over August 2023, it's reasonably unreasonable. It's achievable, not easily. You'll have to make sacrifices. You'll really have to like dedicate your life to this. It's small enough that it is still possible, but it's big enough that it's still extremely motivating. It's like, it's a big enough reward. You don't want to set a goal which is either too small or too big, because then you just don't end up making any progress, because if it's too small, it's not worth sacrificing for. If it's too big, it's just unrealistic, and eventually you realize, oh, I'm not going to hit the goal, so I may as well quit. So decide right now, what will be the big goal that you will set exactly 12 months from now? And it can be what you gain over that month. So for me, it's like August 2023, I will make $5,000 over the month. It's really important that you set the right goal with the right metric. Do you want to gain subscribers on YouTube or followers? Or are you going to set a goal on income? Or are you going to base it on your email list? Think about the metric that you really want to track, and then set the goal for that 12 months from now, and have it very clear in your mind. Write it down. Make this like a big obsession of yours. Okay, that is the big motivating goal. It should be life-changing. It should be incredibly motivational. It should be something that you literally like start rocking forwards and back with excitement, that you don't even want to watch the rest of this course. You literally just like looking at this piece of paper that you've wrote down, like, I will make $5,000 over August 2023. It's incredibly motivating. Next, what we're going to do is set monthly milestones, but we have to understand exponential gains. So exponential gains means that you will see results more like this. Linear gains means that you see them consistently. So with the example of the goal that I've said, which is $5,000 over the month of August 2023, if we were going to see linear gains, we would expect me to get step by step closer to that figure every single month. So I'm not going to do the math, but essentially it would be like I would make $500 this month and $500 next month. But that's not how success works. Success compounds and it's exponential. So if you're clued up on this, you'll agree with me. This is what a realistic trajectory would look like for my goal of making $5,000 over August 2023. In July 2023, I would probably make 3,500. There's a big jump, 3,500 over July and then 5,000 over August. And then in June, I would probably make 2,800. So there's still a pretty big jump, but nowhere near as this. So it's like you're seeing it like this. And I'd go back. So then in May, I'd make 2,300. In each step, as we get closer to the goal month, it grows more. This is a certain mindset that you have to be okay with. In terms of seeing results in your entrepreneurship journey, this may even be like a whole separate video by itself, but I'll just give you like an extra tip here. In terms of seeing results in your entrepreneurship journey, you have to be okay with not seeing much for a while. A lot of the results that you get in terms of success feel quite invisible, like they're not very apparent for a while, they're not very big, and then it explodes. Success almost always explodes. It's very, very unlikely that you'll be one of the very few people who gets like a very linear growth through and through and through. It's usually like there's an explosion of success and it goes like this. So that's what you're expecting to happen, or even to forcefully put into place with a goal like this. This means, and this is scary, you have to somewhat be okay with 6 months of the next part of the year not really seeing much results. The YouTuber First Man talks about this a lot, that you have to be okay with like living this kind of monk mode, low-key lifestyle as an entrepreneur. And it is the truth. It really is the truth. To hit these longer term goals, you have to kind of delay gratification, delay success. It's still relevant to what we're talking about here, so I'll just explain to you how I've been able to hit this. You have to make sacrifices for this longer term goal, and that sacrifice is off the short-term success. So for example, if I tell you right now, my goal is to make $100,000 over December of this year. Well, that's a big number, right? My goal is to make 100K over the last month of this year. Now, if I'm thinking right, like a good entrepreneur, I will dedicate everything to get to that long-term goal. So I won't really think about what will make me money right now. I won't try to cash in right now. I will keep implementing the steps that will increase my income over December so that I can shoot it up and get to a very, very good place, very high place of success. But what a lot of people do instead is that they try to get that short-term success right now at the sacrifice of the long-term success. So I would like to make 100K over December, but I also want really like a lot of money right now. If I had the wrong mindset, I would be cashing out and trying to make as much money right now as possible, and that may actually lower my future potential to make more. This is all about the concept of delayed gratification and instant gratification. And for you, that 1 year goal that you've set is incredibly important. Understand that you will most likely have to experience less success over the coming months to be able to secure that long-term success in the future. For example, if you want to be a YouTuber and your long-term goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers by this time next year, which is a very good amount. So 1 year, 10,000 subscribers. If you also set the goal to hit 1,000 subscribers next month and you want to see some linear gains, the issue is that to get 1,000 subscribers really quickly, you might end up using like tactics like clickbait and just making videos which are like kind of clickbaity or really like low quality but would get a lot of views. You'd end up trading the long-term success of your channel for that, because what gets you a spike in success today is generally not what will get you bigger spikes in the future. That was a big side rant, but it's time for you to set monthly milestones to that big goal. So you've got a goal which is 12 months from now. Start working backwards, understanding that exponential gain. So if this is your big goal 12 months from now, there should be quite a big drop for the month just previous, and again and again and again, till eventually there's a couple of months, maybe the next 6 months from now to the next 6 months, where there's pretty much no progress. So again, if my goal was to make $5,000 over August 2023, you know what my monthly milestone would be over the next 6 months of how much money I'd make? Zero. Best case scenario, I would make zero money in the next 6 months so that I could set this long-term thinking to go like this. That's how you get successful. You have to be okay with this like slow growth while you're implementing things for the future. If you remember the title of this lesson in this course, it's probably worth you coming back a few times just to rewatch this one, because I've just dropped so many random little nuggets that if someone told me this shit when I was younger while I was setting goals, I would have changed things. I have here a piece of paper, which is my income goals month by month. And the first goal I set, the income goal that I set for my business, was for September 2020. And the goal was for £50, £50 over the month. and I made 9. Then the month after that, it was October, the goal was £150 and I made 166. Then in November, the goal was £300 and I made 477. Then in December, the goal was £500 and I made 690. Now you're probably thinking, oh wow, like, okay, you made £690 over December, wow. Whilst, you know, I look back at those times with so much like peace and sort of gratitude, you know, that's where I started. I was literally made £9 over an entire month. I actually did the wrong thing there. I set income goals to like cash out like these milestones far too early. And so because, you know, in December I had this goal to make £500, I had to find out ways to make money like now. And so the way that you do that is usually just by trading time for money. And I ended up doing things that really distracted me from the longer term success. This is why that long-term goal is the ultimate priority. Focus on that long-term goal, and your monthly milestones should literally just supplement and just show that you're on the right track to hit that long-term goal. You don't want to hit monthly milestones of making like, you know, $200 today. A lot of young people do this. A lot of young people will set the goal of making like $100 this month, and, you know, they'll join like Hustlers University or some shit, and by doing that you actually sacrifice your long-term success, because you're generally just doing like low-level tactics that can make money right now instead of setting up systems and businesses that make way more money in the future. Your goal, if you're just starting off, should be to make no money for the next 6 months, 9 months, and through that entire time gain an audience and set up the system that will then explode your income in the next 3 months after 9 months of like setting up the tracks. So now it should be very clear to you that you have a 12-month goal and then monthly milestones which just get you to that 12-month goal. Obsess over that longer term goal. This should be the thing that you should wake up and literally say to yourself like, yes, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm so hyped, I'm gonna do it. It should motivate you incredibly, and you should start doing extra research, particularly on the metric, so the subscribers, the income, the business model. You should start like really getting obsessed over that one particular goal. That's the goal that you think of when like some shit happens in your life, like some girl rejects you, you just, nope, I'm gonna make $5,000. Like you use it as like a fail-safe. It becomes like a big part of your identity. If you obsess over a goal like this whilst following the other things that you learn from this course, and, you know, you're going to be more productive, you're probably going to hit it. You're probably going to, don't take it for granted. You literally do have to dedicate your life, like all of your lifestyle, to hitting big goals. It's the happiest that you'll ever be. So now we're going to go to the next level. So we have the long term, the 12-month goal, then we have the monthly milestones. Now what we're going to do is set the weekly performance habits. These things, the long-term goal, the monthly milestones, these were based on the result that we wanted to see. The result is like, you know, the thing that comes to us, the subscribers, the income. Now what we're going to do is set weekly performance habits, which is entirely based on not results, but on actions. So we don't say week by week, okay, I want to gain X subscribers or money. We set goals for the week of the actions that we want to do. So for example, for this week, I want to read an entire book. I want to record 7 videos. I want to write 20,000 words. I want to send out 100 emails. So this weekly performance habits is the last part of this goal setting structure. We've got the long-term 12-month goal. We've got the monthly milestones. Now we've got the actions, the tasks that we're going to do. This is literally the things you're going to do in your work hours. But to find out what tasks you should actually do, you know, so I gave you a list of them then. So read the entire book or record 7 videos or write this. To find out exactly what tasks you should do week by week, like day by day, we need to learn something called the 80-20 rule, which we'll discuss in the next lesson. Before we go there, why don't you take just 1 minute to just close your eyes and go through that same success visualization that you did previously. The one where you see yourself dusting off your hands after a really hard, productive days of work. And you just feel so accomplished because you've been more productive than ever over the last few days after taking this course. You've been implementing the steps that you've learned, and they're kind of weird and different. And you are really getting this identity of like working like a top 1% man. You almost laugh and cringe at how the 99%ers work. You're not one of them anymore. See that in your mind's eye, and then I'll see you in the next lesson. Mwah.